So I met my husband, well actually we were at college together when we were sort of 16, 17. We weren't together at the time, we were just friends, really good friends, and went off to uni, did our own thing. He went away and joined the Navy, I became a nurse. He was living in Plymouth actually, and I was living in Sheffield. And then he became ill, he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. So he was only 24 when he was diagnosed, so he was moved back to live with his parents in Nottingham. With the idea that they would support him through chemotherapy. And the idea was he'd have some chemo and he would return to full health because it's a very curative illness. And then because he was back in Nottingham, because I was seeing more of him, because I was in Sheffield, it wasn't too far, we sort of started connecting and then realised there was a spark there. So we got together while he was having his first lot of chemotherapy. It was meant to be more a bit of fun, really, to be honest, and we completely fell in love with each other within couple of weeks probably, and then we were together for 4 years before he died, but the whole time he was never in remission. So all of our sort of relationship, our wedding, everything was always kind of interspersed with hospital visits. We were sort of here, there and everywhere. We had a blood transfusion before we went on honeymoon just in case he needed a top up while he was away, things like that. So we always spent a lot of time in hospital, but we were very happy in spite of all of that. That didn't seem to make too much difference. And we were both very optimistic that things would get better. And once we knew that they wouldn't get better, very practical about how things would be. We very much wanted to be in control of how things would be as much as we possibly could. He wanted to die at home. I wanted him to die at home. And we managed to achieve what we wanted to achieve. We did loads of really fun things. We decided that we would celebrate each month of our marriage as if it were a year, because we knew we wouldn't get very many years. So every month we would give each other presents and do nice things. And yeah, I would say we were quite well prepared for his death. We'd known it was coming for a long time, so we'd written wills, we'd spoken to his family about what he wanted after he died. We'd not talked about the funeral in any great detail. Actually, he wanted to write something to be read out, so we came down to London, because we weren't living in London at the time, and we stayed in a suite at the Savoy Hotel. And I said to him, come on, write something. So he gets out Savoy headed paper and a Savoy pen, and I went off to go and visit a friend, came back. He wasn't in the room, he was downstairs having afternoon tea, and I looked at what he'd written at the top, say something funny. And that was as far as he ever got. I spoke about that at the funeral. We were well prepared, as I say, as much as we thought we possibly could be. I think you can think that you're really well prepared for somebody to die. You can think that you've thought everything through and you've kind of protected yourself emotionally, but you're never as prepared for someone's death when they actually do die as you think you might be. It's always harder than you expect. The day after David died, I threw a huge party because we'd planned to have a big party anyway. And I remember the caterers arrived about an hour after he died and said, oh, we've bought the trellis tables, where should we set up? And my friends came upstairs saying, oh my goodness, what should we do? And I said, oh, tell them to come on in, we're having a party. So I had a party of about 60, 80 people in my house the day after. We all got dressed up and celebrated. We didn't really celebrate, but there was that sense of everyone being together, the people who loved David, who David loved, we were all together, and we could all share that together, and that felt really important. I think being around people who knew and loved him brought him alive, and that was really lovely. Hearing stories I'd not heard about him before, so surrounding yourself with people who love that person as much as you did, I found hugely comforting. I always imagined that when he died, and I had spent a lot of time imagining it, I imagined that I would sort of hit rock bottom, that I would instantly feel completely devastated, be unable to get dressed or eat or do anything useful. But actually that wasn't the case at all. I could function really quite well, maybe too well in hindsight. You sort of go about things feeling quite invincible, like, oh, I'm all right, I'm doing okay. As time goes on, you realise that grief is nothing like how you imagined. You don't kind of slowly crawl up a hill and get to the top and everything goes away. It's like standing on the shore and the waves are just lapping at your feet on some days, and other days they completely wash over you. And sometimes you feel like you're drowning. Other days you feel like, oh, the sea's really calm. Maybe the sea's going to stay calm. And gradually, as time goes on, the waves come less and less. But when they come, they can still be as big and knock you off your feet. I think I'm still grieving. It's been coming up for 5 years now, and that never really goes away. I think I assumed that it would eventually just be gone, and my husband would just be a happy memory that I'd smile about, but still somebody that I miss, somebody that I want in my life, and you just can't, it doesn't get better in the way that you expect. It just never goes away, but you learn to live with it. It's like losing an arm. You never stop missing that arm, wishing that arm was there, but you can function, more than function, you can live and be happy even with that sadness.